Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis. Week starting 15th of May. Before we get started, as always, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only, and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Okay, so let us kick off and let's have a look at what we have this week, what's been happening, and let's just try and dissect some of the information that's been going on in the marketplace. Now, we'll kick off with the Aussie dollar. And last week, we saw weaker export demand from China, a surprise decline in retail sales, along with a sharp drop in building approvals. In essence, this drove the Aussie dollar to a 4-month fresh low. And the pressure will continue this week with employment numbers due out and monetary policy meeting minutes due out. And I'm highlighting those for you on my chart right now. So that was all for the Aussie. It wasn't a very, very moving week, but that's a quick wrap of what's taken place. If we move along and let's have a look in the UK. Essentially this week in the UK we have key data releases in CPI numbers, average earnings, retail sales, and also we have Prime Minister May will be speaking. Now at the moment the GBP has definitely developed a significant key level at that 130 level. I'm talking on the GBP USD, of course. It's definitely becoming resistance, and we saw some real decent selling at that level towards the end of last week. So the pound bulls are really not stepping forward, and they're not confident of breaking that. So let's see what happens there, but this is how we've positioned ourselves right now at this particular point in time. If we move along in the US, well, Friday data on US was very, very soft. It missed all targets. As a result, the US dollar pretty much tanked against most currencies. Now the question is whether we have seen a top, or is this just a little bit of a correction in the marketplace? One thing for sure is that there is an ever increasing divergence between the US data that's coming out against the market expectations and what the Fed Reserve is saying about possible June rate hikes. The way that I see this at the moment is something's got to give. It's going to be a very, very interesting case of watch this space and let's see what happens or what develops. So the US in a little bit of a high alert for us. This week for the euro, we don't have much happening, pretty much just President Draghi, ECB President Draghi will be speaking towards the end of the week, so it's not a real big week for the euro. The main things happening with the euro is traders are still really wondering if that gap that we created, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, will be filled. From a technical point of view, we ourselves are in a euro trade which favours a closure of the gap. The gap itself is not the reason we took the trade, but nevertheless we are still in it, and a closing of the gap basically favours what we're trying to achieve with our trade. Now, recent time, I guess in the meantime, all the Eurozone economic reports that have come out continue to surprise to the upside. It's a sign of an improvement of the economy, and now that the French elections are done and dusted, Macron's come out as victorious. It also removes a lot of the uncertainty that's been happening, that's been sort of overshadowing the euro. Okay, so that's the euro. Kiwi, this particular week we have retail sales, PPI numbers, and GDT. Of course, Kiwi Dollar had a big week last week, and we missed some data and we lost a lot of ground, including we got a gap on Friday morning as we arrived. So the Kiwi Dollar this week we got a little bit of data. Let's see what happens and if we get a bit of a rectification in sort of the movements that we've recently taken. I think the currency for this week, the one that's going to be most susceptible to data releases, is going to be the GBP USD. Okay, so keep this one high on your alert. This is the one that's going to be affected the most directly by data. Of course, these times that I'm showing you, they are in my local time, which is Australian Eastern Standard, otherwise Sydney time. So please take note, so don't get caught in any trades that you don't really want to be in. Okay, so there you have it. That's this week's wrap data. Let me now move on. Let's have a quick look at the trading challenge. Let's see what's happening. I can see some questions are popping up. Just type them in as I get a moment. I will address those for you. Trading challenge update is that nothing has changed. Method 1, method 2, we're still there. We haven't closed any other trades, but what has changed is I have an open position on the Euro USD. Some of you may have an open position on the US CAD as well. I don't remember if this one qualified correctly. I've got to go back and check my data. Either way, the Euro USD one came within a whisker of touching my T1 level, but it did not. They're both still in play. They're both still in. So I'm not sure if some of you guys might have one, some of you guys may have both. Okay, there you have it. That's the wrap. Let me bring up my charts and let's analyze the markets and let's see what's basically taking place. And give me 1 second, I'm in the wrong profile. Okay, we'll kick off with the Aussie dollar. Let me just read a couple of these questions. 1 moment, and just give me 1 second. Okay, I've got a question being asked about correlation. It's quite an advanced question. I'll try and deal with it at some point throughout the class. Rav has told me he got within 4 pips of touching T1, so did I. Question on momentum. I'll try and get to that as I go through the class. Okay, alright, let me talk about Aussie dollar. So this is our current chart. This is where we are. Okay, let's see what can we make some sense out of this. Give me 1 moment. Okay, instantly I want to join these up. I don't know if I had them joined before. I'm on a different computer at this particular point in time. I cannot remember, but let me see. This just makes sense to me. Okay, but we didn't come down to meet this. We haven't met that right there at this particular point, so there's nothing going there. Let me just move up. So I'm just looking for a Head and Shoulders upside down one. No, let me remove this one. This is no good. Can everybody hear me? I can hear I can see one person saying that they cannot hear me. I was on silent there for a moment, but yes, that's a yes. Okay, good. Okay, all right, here we go. Aussie dollar, this is what I can see. The best thing that is on the cards right now, we are kind of heading back up here. So what I would be looking for is, I would love it to happen right here. Give me the nice price action that I am specifically looking for, and then try and trade a continuation downwards. I'm going to keep this line down the bottom here, okay, just to, if I do get a setup over here, I would like it if my profit levels hit before this line. Okay, so let me what I'm specifically looking for, I'm looking for an inside candle or an engulfing candle. Let's say I get something like this and then a little candle on the inside, then like that, and then we can trade it as such. If anybody is finding that my analysis of the market is a little bit too much on the advanced side for you at this particular point in time, what I can suggest is speak with your account manager who has put you into this program, and just register on our partner educators website. There's a specific Admiral Markets course, and there's 3 complete videos, about 3 hours worth, just explaining in quite a lot of detail the way that I analyze the market right now. Okay, so if anybody is feeling a little bit left out, or you're not quite following, just speak with the person who invited you, who got you in here, and they can give you access to it's free, basically, access to the program there. Okay, all right, there's the Aussie dollar. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD, let me just adjust this because I'm on a different computer. This is the one that we did a little bit of juggling. There we go. You can see my trades are on this particular chart. So what we're trading is the channel, and we picked up a nice engulfing candle there, and we got very, very close to my target here, but now it's shot up, so we're very, very much at about the same level that I started everything off. So there you go. So that's my trade, and this is the gap that I just spoke about there to, well, to here, so to speak. So if this was to come down, close the gap and hits my target over there, so we have an interest in that gap closing for us as we speak. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. Now, we didn't take this trade because of the gap, but we have an interest for it to close. So Euro USD, I currently have an open position, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm already short in this one, and this is a really nice channel. We just have to just wait it out and just see what happens. Okay, let me tackle some of these questions. One moment. Double top, double bottoms, do they only count when it's a horizontal line? No, not really, but they're easier to spot when the line is horizontal. There's a Kiwi question being asked. I'll answer that one when I get to the Kiwi. I'm just going to have to make this window a little bit wider, guys. There's just so many questions coming up at me. Give me 1 second. Okay, the momentum question, I'll cover it in the second half of the class when I look at the strategy, because the strategy that I'm talking about will cover it. And I'll try and tackle that correlation question there as well. Okay. Okay, all right, so there, okay, a question's been asked, can I jump in on this trade right now if I missed it before? Well, look, I would say you need to consult your trading plan. If your trading plan says that you're allowed to, normally my rule of thumb is, for me, is if the trade has already gone and it's reached the first target or got very close to it, then I won't take the trade. And probably this one, because it's got very close to the target, possibly I would refrain from taking this one. Okay, I'm already in it, so that question doesn't apply to me. I'm not concerned about it. I'll just ride this one out and see what happens. Okay. Alright, so let's move on. Let's have a look at the GBP USD. Okay, GBP USD here. I've marked that 130 level. Okay, so that's that 130, It's acting quite resistive. So let's have a closer look. Let's see if we can get something out of this. I've been looking for trades off this level. Now I didn't quite get a setup over there. So what I'm really hoping for in an ideal world, um, look, I'm not interested at this particular point. Even if I got a setup there to go that way, I'm not interested in that trade. It's kind of like I'm taking it too much into a headwind, and I don't know how strong it will be to break through that. Okay, so what I'm more interested in is if I can pick up like something like this right there with a fractal over there, that trade, I'm really interested in that trade. That's what I'm looking for. If I can pick up a nice inside candle or an engulfing candle on that or thereabouts on that 130 level, I'd be interested in that trade. So that's what I'm holding out for until either we break through or we really kick back down. So those are the two options. Right now, we're very, very close, but there's nothing happening for us, so we just leave this one alone. That's the GBP USD. Okay, let's move on to the US yen. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me take a closer look at what's going on here. Okay, I really like this line that I've just drawn in. A couple of things about it. We've had good kickoffs off that line. Then we've rejected really nicely. 2 times we've broken through. So I would love for this market to come down to this circle where I've just drawn it and give me what I'm looking for, like a really nice inside candle or just a 3 candle reversal pattern right there, and then I would be keen on taking that trade as I'm highlighting for you there. That's the most favorable. That's probably the highest probability. And these candles are pointing in the right direction, so it could basically come to us. The problem is I don't have it right now, so I'll have to wait for it. Okay, that's US yen. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the euro yen. Okay, euro yen. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, we've clearly taken out the tops. Now we've just had a run of around about 9, this run from down here to here, that's about 900 pips, okay? The market is very, very, there's a lot of deviation between my moving averages and price. It seems like the market is exhausting itself. It's still not a good enough reason for me to just sell it just because I think it's moved enough. This is the biggest mistake that we can make when we trade. So I would love to find a reason to sell there. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can find one. There's nothing. Oh, this is really, really frustrating because like I so want to find a reason to sell this that I'm willing to have a look at something different. Okay. I've just loaded in my fishing strip template and there's no go there. I'm just going to look at one last thing. I just want to see if there's any divergence. No, nothing. Okay, there's nothing here, guys. Like, even though as much as I really want to find a trade out of this, I really cannot find one. I want to sell it, but I'm not going to sell it unless I can see something. And there's nothing there that I can see, so we're just going to walk away from this one. Okay? Alright, let's move on. Let's have a look at the Kiwi Dollar. Okay, Kiwi Dollar, we produced this little gap on Friday from there to here, and we're still not quite closed. Still a little bit of that gap is still open. Let's see. Okay, let's get rid of this line. It's no good anymore. Okay, what I'm looking for here is I've got definitely one touch. This one here, I've still got a question mark on it. I need this to move across to the other side. And if it gets to this level here, right there, that's where I want to take this trade. This is a falling wedge, also into trend. There's probably a lot of pressure for this to push up because of this gap. The gap traders will be trying to close that up. I'm not a gap trader, so I'm not going to take it. But what I will do is I've just drawn in this line, and I'm going to wait for it. And if I can get it at this level up here, that's the level that I'm interested in. And I'll be looking at short selling at the top there. Okay. Okay, so let me see if I can see anything else on this. No, that's it. That's the Kiwi dollar. Okay, alright, let's move on to the US CAD. We've got a trade on the US CAD. What was the... We got to sell. What was the reason for it? Can anybody remind me why we sold the US CAD? Let's see if I can find it. Engulfing. Was it in a channel? Was it in a channel, guys, or was it... Okay, yes, here we go. I'm there. I'm just picking it back up. Okay, alright, so what we did was, okay, so there's a touch over here, you can just see it. Second touch over there, we had one there. Do I have another one on the other side? Give me one moment. Yeah, two touches, one and two here. And this is the third touch, and this is the candle that we traded, the engulfing candle over there, and we're trying to go down. We're still sellers. I'm still a seller there. We got close to getting stopped out over there, but it's come back down, and as we stand right now, we're pretty close to where we started. So look, I just got to ride this one out. This one, it's just one of those things where we're going to trade and wait to see what happens. So US CAD, we currently still sellers. I'm holding these positions. What are they? So here you can see on my chart my a minus 29 pips on the CAD trade and a minus 6 pips on the Euro USD. Okay, so that's my situation. So we'll leave this one and we'll move along. All right, let's have a look at gold. I saw something on gold earlier today. Did anybody pick up this gold trade, guys? You can see here that we've got one, two, this is the third touch, and look in here. Now what I don't know, because I'm seeing this late, is anybody in this? What I'm not 100% sure about is whether it broke the top or the bottom, because this green candle breaks both the top and the bottom, but I don't know which one happened first. So that's what I'm just asking, is anybody in this gold trade? Because that's a setup. Okay, no one's picked that one up. Okay, so if you were going to trade this one you would have got in about there. So your T1's about there, and which is a good T1, because what may happen at that level is we may get to shoot back down. But look, because technically I didn't see this one, but if I had have seen it, this would have been I would be long in this trade. So my position on gold is that it's the equivalent of holding a buy position. All right. So that's the gold situation. So there's nothing else that I can do. So I've got to leave it and stick with that. Let's move on to oil. Okay, so this line is no longer required. Let's mark that level now. Let me just check a couple of fib levels here. One second, guys. Okay, there's an ABCD pattern coming up. So from here to there to here to here. So this would be my A, my B, C, and my D. The way the ABCD patterns work, if you remember from our fib work, it has to be like a 127, which this is the 127 there, so that's ABC. So from here all the way to there, retrace into here, which is the 127, and then what you do is you redraw it from here to here, from there to here, and you push out to the 61.8, which puts you at this level there. So this level is the level that we're interested in. What is it? Let me see. It's about well, 49.80. Okay, so you could either try and short it straight out at 49.80, or you can wait for some price action to happen at that 49.80 level to look for a trade. So basically we're looking for a trade over here in this direction, which would complete an A, B, C, D pattern. Okay, if it doesn't get there, well then it doesn't get there, so it's not valid. Does everybody understand that? Okay. I already went past the Kiwi Dollar and I forgot to answer a question. The question for Miles, he was asking, why do I think the Kiwi Dollar tanked Thursday morning 100 pips, causing that gap when the cash rate remained the same? Wouldn't that be helpful for the currency? The answer to that question, Miles, I think I answered that one on the daily call on that particular day, but the answer is it wasn't the fact that they didn't change interest rates. It was the fact that what they said with the accompanying statement, they basically painted a picture of a little bit of doom and gloom, and essentially investors panicked and they sold Kiwi Dollar, so Kiwi lost strength. Okay, so that's in reference to that one. Okay. All right, so I've covered everything. If you have any questions, just keep typing them in. I'm just going to go back and summarize, and I'm going to answer some of these questions, and we'll finish out the session. So going back, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, we have a really nice support level. What we're waiting for is we either to come to the support level and look to shoot in the upward direction, or alternatively, the other one is we look like we're in downtrend, looking to pull back, find the pattern that we want, and then continue the ride down. Okay, Euro USD, we are currently in a trade, so no action. We are sellers. We're trading a channel, and we've picked up an engulfing candle, so that's our situation. GBP USD, we are waiting to see if we can get a really nice price action reversal at that 130 level. It hasn't come yet, so we're still going to hang on and wait to see if it does come. We're looking for the opportunity to possibly sell it. US yen situation. What did we say? US yen. We've just marked in this key level. We want to wait for the market to come to us before we can take any action on that one. Euro yen is the one that I want to short, but I've got no reason for, so I'm leaving this one alone. Kiwi dollar, we're starting to possibly track a falling wedge. Let's see if it comes up and meets us, and if we can get an opportunity to take the trade in this direction over here. US CAD, we are sellers. We've got a position open right now, so we're not going to do anything. We just continue and wait to see what develops with that position. Gold, I don't have a position open, but if I would be a buyer, and it's basically the inside candle that was triggered 2 days ago, and 2 trading sessions ago, should I say, so there's nothing I can see on that one. Last but not least, WTI. Let's see if we can... Actually, I didn't talk about WTI. I got distracted there somewhere, I think. But look, we could basically set an inside candle right now. No, sorry, I did. It's the ABCD pattern. Either there, that's probably the more likely one, because this candle's already gone there. So 49.80, that's the level that we were looking for. Okay, let me answer some of these questions and we'll wrap up the first session. Someone's asking me about head and shoulder patterns. Look, head and shoulder patterns is not one that I really trade that much. I can just give you the basics of how they work. They're very straightforward. Essentially what you're looking for, let's pretend this is the market was here. We get a little bit of a shoulder, the head, the shoulder comes back down, and then essentially you draw a line across the neckline is there, and when you break it, that's the trade that you take in that direction. They can be flat and horizontal, or they can be in an upward direction, so meaning you can get it like this. Okay, there's the neckline again from that point to that point, and then bang, you trade it at the break as such. You can get them inverted as well, so they can go like this. There's the neckline, this time it's upside down, so right over here is bang where you trade them. Okay, they're not based on price action, it's actually a straight break of what they call the neckline. Alright, I don't usually trade them that often. I always identify them when I see them. Some people like to trade them. They're much of a muchness. I prefer to get a full candle, a 3 candle sequence at a key spot, more so than just a straight break. Okay. Another question. Just an observation on oil on a weekly chart. Give me 1 second. Let me have a look. Yes, Tim, you're correct. Sometimes we get overlapping fib levels on different time frames. It can give us a bit of a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's usually related to, excuse me, just support levels and resistance levels. Let me see if I can, any other questions that I can catch in here. Okay, I think I've covered all the questions that have come my way. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording